Muhammad dies in his bed full of years. The Buddha dies in his bed full of years, surrounded by his disciples. Confucius, the same thing. Moses dies at the age of 120 or something, And then there's Jesus, who dies 30 years old, naked, pinned to a desperate instrument of torture. His disciples having abandoned him, his enemies mocking him. We killed God, and God returned forgiving love. That's salvation. That's the word of grace, if you want. That's the good news.
Before we proceed, we define God the way the classical theists agreed, right? God is a necessary being. He is eternal. He is self-subsisting. He's unchanging. He's independent, right? He's not subject to time, place, or composition. He cannot cease to exist, right? He's not caused. He's not composite, nor is he contingent, right? Now let us address, the notion that God supposedly, died. Major premise: death is a transition from life to non-life, right? It is change. Minor premise: God is unchanging, beyond time and motion. Conclusion: therefore, God cannot die because death entails change, and change entails imperfection. And everything that accepts change is created. And God does not accept change because he is unchanging. Major premise: only contingent beings can enter and exit existence, right? Minor premise: God is the necessary being. His non-existence is impossible, right? Conclusion: it is a logical impossibility for God to die, because that would imply that his existence isn't necessary, which negates his divinity, right? God can no more die than a square can be a circle, right? It's not profound. It is, incoherent. Now, I want you to think about it. If a Roman soldier can overpower an unalive God, then creation has power over the creator. A logical contradiction right there, right? If God died and he rose, he became something. And something that became something wasn't that thing before, right? God doesn't become, he simply is. I've heard this counter argument many times, right? Oh, he let himself die. God letting himself die still implies need, right? And need contradicts divinity, right? Why does God need to be unalive to forgive, right? He needs to die to satisfy justice. Then he's bound by, something outside himself, right? Justice as a law above him, right? He needs to suffer to show love, right? Then he doesn't have the ability to show love without pain, right? And the one who needs isn't God. The true God is self-sufficient. He does whatever he pleases and is not questioned about his actions, right? But the Christian God in this narrative, however, is bound to the process of execution and, subject to the rules of divine justice, in need of blood to forgive. That's not God. That's a being under the illusion of power, right? But he's really enslaved to a cosmic system, right? God is the ever-living, he who never dies, right? And whoever worships the one who was crucified has worshipped the one who couldn't control his life, death, or resurrection, let alone yours.